The Office US is easily one of the best shows ever created. Its usage of relatable material gone haywire allows the viewer to become really engaged with the program. From comedy to drama, there's no shortage of shenanigans that go on throughout the series. In my opinion, it is easily the best to come around, and in other people's opinions, it shares the same thing. According to Vox.com, the main reason it is so popular is because it has stories that are one episodes and stories mixed in with those that are covering the entire series, such as relationships. The fairly unique documentary style that the creators chose to film with is very realistic, and it allows people to really just want to get in depth with what is going on. If you are a person who enjoys comedy and jokes that ride the line on whether or not they are offensive to certain people, this is your show. In one particular episode, called Diversity Day, the people of the office are supposed to go to a seminar so that way they can be better fluent with each other's cultures. Now, Michael Scott, the regional manager, decides that instead they're going to take index cards with different cultures and ethnicities written on them and tape them to each other's heads. Then he instructed them to go around and be stereotypical to each other just to make them feel like the person they are supposed to be representing. Now, this is okay, it's a little offensive and sometimes, but all around everyone's very respectful about it. Until Michael, the regional manager, decides that he is going to be really racist to Kelly Kapoor, the Indian woman that just walked in from a meeting. Now, she has no idea what's going on. She missed the entire explanation, so when he's being very racist to her about Indians, she slaps him in the face. Although it's a little rough, nobody is hurt, and everyone in the audience has a good laugh because it's just something that happens throughout the series. There's also an element of romance that is going on between Pam and Jim. Now, these two went from being friends in one couple of seasons to being married to almost being divorced because of Jim's new job. The show captures the essence of love stories and portrays the emotions of failed marriage. And it's so vivid that the characters seem so real that the audience actually cares what's going to happen to their beloved characters. Other relationships, like the scandalous affairs involving Stanley and his many, many women that he is involved with, add a bit of a flair to the show. When relationships didn't work out, the viewer is just as sad as the characters are because, at the end of the day, they seem very realistic, so you care for them just as you care for someone you actually know. Now, it is never a boring day in the office, a theme that is very present throughout the show. Dwight, right here, the nerdy farmer, who is he thinks he's the next big thing in the company, decided he would run a fire drill with everyone in the office because they didn't pay attention to his PowerPoint about a fire drill the week before. He lit a small paper fire in the back behind one of the doors into the office, and he walked back to his desk afterwards and waited until Pamela, the woman involved with Jim, saw it and decided, okay, time to raise the alarm. And then she got everyone up, and they all were looking around for exits, but Dwight was walking around with a blowtorch, heating up all the handles, so that they thought there was a fire on the other side. After all the exits were decided to be unviable, everything went just straight to chaos. Everybody was trying to break out or just destroy everything just to get away from where they were because the phone lines were cut, and they couldn't do anything about it. And everybody's just running around going crazy while Dwight's just asking, what's the procedure, trying to spur their thinking, but in reality he's just making them go crazy. And eventually he just gives up on them and blows an air horn signaling the end of the drill to everyone, and Stanley, the man with the affairs, just collapsed from a heart attack. And when that happened, the entire show went from just people laughing at the shenanigans going on to being actually fearful that Stanley would lose his life and we would lose a second-level character. The writing of the series allowed it to not be left by the wayside as new shows came along. There were running gags like Michael being insensitive, Angela being that person just nobody liked, and Dwight being obsessed with the company. Characters came and went, some loved, and others hated. The acting and writing was executed with great excellence to the point that I do not believe there's another comedic program I would enjoy more. I, along with many people, watched The Office many times until we finished it on Netflix. It was in 2020 when Netflix was still on TV. According to KCRW.com, The Office generated 57 billion minutes of view time, which is just an insane number. And the show even received an 81% according to Rotten Tomatoes. Now that is very high numbers, and it shows why people, including myself, watched it repetitively starting 16 years ago. If you want a one-stop thrill ride, I believe that this is the show that you need to watch.